This is the Rimpage podcast. My name is Patrick Johnson. I'm the founder of Rimpage. Welcome, and let's go. Part 3 of 3. The following continues a discussion about Rimpage rankings. We pick it up where we left off in Part 2. Next one. What about players from small countries or cities nobody's watching? How do they get noticed? Well, remember that scenario I introduced at the very beginning of our show today when I talked about how I lived in Mojave, but I could, in Mojave, build a name for myself, build a reputation for myself simply by winning matches. That's how you get noticed, by winning. I say in another video, everything you could want from basketball, whether it's riches or fame or respect or trophies or every reward you could ever want from basketball comes from one thing: winning. So win. That's how you get noticed. Win. Win a lot. That's how you get. That's simple, isn't it? Rimpage makes it really simple. We don't care about your social media following. We don't care about who your dad is. We don't care who your connections are. Can you win? Can you play this game better than everyone else? That's what we're looking for. Who is the best, the most skilled? So win. That's how you get noticed. Next one. If I'm already ranked on ESPN, does Rimpage care about that? Or is it a whole new world? No, we don't care about who else ranks you. We have our own objective standard that we use to evaluate players. And you bring none of that into Rimpage. In other words, it doesn't help you. It doesn't hurt you. Only how you perform on the court in a certified Rimpage match affects your rankings. Next one. This one's from a fan. Okay, so these are from fans. Why should I care about rankings outside the NBA? Aren't those already the best? Are they? That's why you should care, because you don't have, without rankings, you don't have a defensible answer to that question. Are they the best? Well, let's say you say, yeah, they're the best. And I say, prove it. What are you going to do? How are you going to prove it? In other words, you get no credit for your popularity. I'm not going to cede you that anymore. I'm going to tell you, prove it. If you say NBA players are the best, I'm going to say, prove it. Let them play against all the other players and let's see who really comes out on top. So that's why you should care. If you care about basketball skill, if you really want to know who is the best player, who is the most skilled player, then you need Rimpage rankings, because no one else is going to give you that. Remember those 4 keys again. Those leagues aren't even set up to give you that. It's not their mission. It's not what they do. It's what we do. So if you care about that, then that's why you should care about Rimpage rankings. And then if you love basketball, you should care, because we're introducing something that is just utterly fascinating to a basketball fan. Like, I myself am curious to see the difference between, say, the number 1 ranked player in France and the 200th ranked player in New York City. What's the difference between those two guys? What is it about this guy that makes him the best in the country that's different from all these other guys who can't achieve on that level? It's the study of greatness. We're opening a window to allow the world of basketball to study greatness. I think it's a tragedy that these players are already out there. Even as I speak to you right now, those players are out there. They're alive. They have cars and houses and they go to the gym and they play. And a small group of people get to see them play, but the world doesn't know who they are. Rimpage is going to open up a window so the world can see who these players are. As a basketball fan myself, that fascinates me. Okay, next one. How would I follow my favorite player's rank? It's on Rimpage's website. You'll be able to go to, like I said, you can Google who is the best player in whatever city, and the information is going to come up right there from Rimpage's website. You can go to Rimpage's site and look at the leaderboards. Would it update live like box scores? Yes, it's going to update live. It's going to update in real time. Now, consider when Rimpage reaches the point where we have 100 million athletes all over the world who are playing who, when, and where they want, which means let's say they play 20 matches a week. The average Rimpage player plays 20 matches a week. Multiply that by 100 million. That's how many matches are going to be played worldwide. That's how many matches have to be processed by Rimpage, profiles updated, stats updated. So when I say real time, there will be some delay in that. But as we build out the system, eventually, yeah, it's going to update instantly. The moment you put in the results, it's going to update instantly. But until then, there will be some slight delay, but not enough to detract from your experience as a fan. You will see those ratings and rankings get updated. Next one. What if two players keep going back and forth, winning and losing? How does the system decide who's better? The same way we would if they were playing different people. You're still a human being with a Rimpage profile with stats and ratings and rankings, and the system is going to determine what your new ranking is depending on who you play. So you can play the same player 1,000 times, and we're going to process that as if you played 1,000 different other people. Doesn't matter. I don't know why you would do that, but if you decide to do that, yeah. That goes back to that other scenario where a player is constantly playing against weaker competition. That's going to hurt you in the long run, because we want to know, or your ranking is going to reflect how good you are against everyone. And that's what's going to get you into the tournaments. If you've only been playing this one guy and you use your results against that one guy to get into the tournament, you're going to get embarrassed when you play these other guys. Okay. Could we see a 14-year-old prodigy ranked above college players if he wins enough? Why not? Well, okay. First of all, let me address this. Rimpage is for all players in the world 15 and up. So a 15-year-old prodigy, yes. 14, no, wait a year. But absolutely, why not? If he's that good, give me a good reason we shouldn't give him the ranking his skill deserves. I don't care if the other guys are in college. The one champion formula doesn't care. All we're looking at is who's the best, who's the better player. Remember, that's our mission. We just want to know who's the best. Next one. What makes Rimpage rankings more trustworthy than media hype lists? Our intention. The work that backs that intention. It is our intention. This is a serious endeavor. We want to know who actually is the best player in the world. So we need to craft a formula, an objective standard that produces a true and reliable result. And we've done that. We've given serious thought to how we are going to find out who is the best player in the world. What does this formula need to contain in order to produce that result for us? Media hype lists are not as rigorous as our one champion formula is. And so that's why players should trust it. And then as we use this formula, you can start evaluating the results. When the one champion formula points to a player and says he's the best, and we see that player beating everyone else, that's what tells you it's reliable. Would watching ranked battles be like watching UFC, winner climbs, loser drops? I'm not too familiar with the UFC's ranking system, so I don't know for sure. But I have explained our ranking system quite thoroughly here, and so I think with what I've given you so far, you can answer that question for yourself. I'm sorry, I don't know about the UFC's ranking system, so I really can't say. Next one. Could this replace Streetball Legends lists? Like, no more arguing at the barbershop, just look at the ranks. I addressed that as well already. Absolutely, it can and will. Our standards are more rigorous. Our results are more thought out and more methodically produced. And our results are more trustworthy. Yes, absolutely you can. You will, with a Rimpage ranking, have something you can defend, or have something that defends you and your claim. Okay, next one. Wouldn't this system expose a lot of overrated players who've been living off hype? Absolutely it will. I think any serious player or fan automatically knows the answer to that question. Absolutely it will. That's why we have rankings. That's why rankings exist. So we can get to the truth. Next one. If someone's number one in Rimpage, does that mean they're the best player in the world, better than NBA MVPs? We would argue that they absolutely are. But Rimpage only ranks the players who compete in Rimpage. You have to subject yourself to our objective standard in order for us to evaluate you. So we're going to give a ranking to every player who competes in Rimpage matches. If you don't compete in Rimpage matches, we don't have the data we need to compare you to a Rimpage athlete. And we're right back where we are now, where people are arguing subjectively. If you compete in Rimpage, we eliminate the subjectivity. We elevate it to the level of objectivity. We can give you an objective, defensible answer to the question, who's better? Rimpage is all about proving it. I would say to NBA players, if you think you're better than our number one ranked guy, prove it. Get in Rimpage, play these certified matches, and prove you're better. Next, how would the NCAA, NBA, or overseas leagues react to players chasing Rimpage rankings? I don't care. Next, does this kill the whole team-first culture in basketball? Probably. Let's put it this way. Team-first culture in basketball right now is providing an opportunity for 0.03% of basketball players worldwide. So for all of those players who are not getting an opportunity, for all of the players who are not being served by team-first culture in basketball, yeah, Rimpage probably will kill their influence. The fact is, basketball as we've known it is not serving almost 100% of the basketball players. So why shouldn't Rimpage step in and do it? And last one, what happens if a ranked player refuses to accept a challenge? Shouldn't that count as a loss? There are circumstances in which if a ranked player refuses a challenge, he will be penalized in some way that encourages him to accept that challenge the next time. I'll put it that way. He will be penalized in a way that encourages him to accept that challenge the next time. So I'm going to let that be a surprise for you to see how that plays out. In the meantime, if you're a Rimpage athlete, you're hunting. You want to prove you're the best. So I don't know why you wouldn't be accepting those challenges when you know if you win those matches, it only helps you. And if you refuse the match, it actually hurts you. So we'll leave it right there. And I want to leave you with this. If you're a basketball player and you're serious and you're ambitious, because that's the only kind of player who's going to survive in Rimpage, the serious, ambitious player who's hungry to prove that there's a champion inside of them, if you're that player, join Rimpage today. Become a Rimpage athlete today. Start your campaign. Plant your flag. Start building your ranking. Start growing your rating and widening the gap between you and everyone else who's going to join after you. You can play against non-Rimpage athletes, so you don't have to wait until everyone else joins Rimpage to compete. Join Rimpage today. Start playing matches. Start building your own basketball legacy. All right, that's our show for the day. Thank you for joining us, and we'll see you in the next one. All right, guys, take care.